Hello, so my name is Robert Selemani. I'm a cloud platforms engineer at Cassava Technologies and Cassava AI. I'm also a co-founder at AI SRT. Right. So in this session, which is from classroom to career navigating AI and tech, uh, we are going to go through how you can prepare yourself for the industry that is building the skills that are relevant for the industry. So basically, we are focusing on how you can translate the skills and the knowledge that you are taught in class into employable skills that the industry is seeking for, right? So many people think that if they earn a degree, it's enough for them to secure a job, or if they earn a certain certificate, then that's enough to help them secure a job. But in actual fact, that is not enough because you realize that in your classroom, you are taught basics, right? But those basics do not lend you a job because they are not enough, they're not good enough for you to be employable. So what is it that you need to do on your end to prepare yourself for the industry? So this is what we are going to focus on in today's call. So that's the AI and tech landscape, taking inspiration or taking notes from the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report, the last year version. We're going to focus also on skills that actually matter. We're going to focus on building experience. How can you build your experience through certifications and building a portfolio? We're going to focus on the soft skills that are relevant for the tech professionals. How can you build or how can you develop your leadership skills? Landscape itself, you realize that according to the World Economic Forum report for last year, there is going to be new jobs being created at the same time, some jobs dying, right? And what does that mean to you? You're unfortunate that as someone who is in tech or enthusiastic about tech, you are, trying to build skills in an area where jobs are expected to be rising, right? Which means that you need to know if I'm in tech and jobs are meant to be, more jobs being created, what are those jobs and what skills are relevant for me to be part of that talent pool that will be absorbed into those roles, right? So these statistics should, matter to you, you should know them, and they should align with the skills that you're trying to build, right? So fastest growing roles by 2030, big data specialists, fintech engineers, AI and machine learning specialists, um, software developers, cybersecurity analysts, and data analysts and scientists. What I love about these statistics is that it kind of helps everyone during this time where there's so much focus and noise about AI. These stats, you can actually see that AI is on number 3, right? And I do agree with these states. Why? In as much as there's a rise in, AI related, developments and stuff, but the actual amount of jobs that relates to AI are very few as compared to, a data specialist roles. Why do I say so? You might see that out of 10 organizations that you can do a survey with, all of them, only one or two might hire someone with a dedicated role as an AI engineer, right? But maybe 8 or 7 of them, they would definitely have someone like a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer. because most of them, in as much as they are not primarily AI tools creators, right? Where they are building, for example, large language models that does A, B, C, D, this and that. They still have like transactional data that they need analyzed to be able to, make business decisions based on that data, right? So that's why, data related roles are rising and why those skills are relevant. So the skills that actually matters right now for someone who is into tech, or at least maybe my much focus here is on the data side of things, but most of these skills or the advice that I'll give you here are transferable to many other different roles or different specializations within tech, right? So your Python skills are very relevant because if you are in data, Python is your language. Python is the data language. So if you're into cybersecurity, you just need to find out, okay, which language works best for cybersecurity. If you're into networking, okay, there's another report in the chat. I don't know what's up. Please zoom in. The text is a bit too small. Okay, great. Somebody said I should zoom in. So whichever field that you are in, you just need to find out, okay, which tools are relevant. I suppose this is okay, guys. It's on 100%. I suppose you can see properly. Right. So these are the skills that matters for someone who is into data. So whichever field that you're in, you just need to find out which skills are relevant into this. So machine learning concepts, cloud platforms, data engineering and SQL, version control using your Git or GitHub. Right. Somebody saying this screen is too small. I don't I don't know what is happening, but how about now? I suppose I suppose it should be good. Guys, may you make sure that you are muted if you're not speaking because there'll be a lot of interference. So yeah, thank you. I suppose you can see now. So like I said, um yeah, I think you guys might be on mobile and stuff because I don't know. I've zoomed in my screen and it's showing well on my end. So I don't know what's up on your end. Otherwise, my screen is zoomed in, I think about 150%. So I'll proceed, guys. Just zoom in using your phones. Right. So learning. Right. And what does this entail? These are the soft skills that should complement these technical skills that you may be building, right? So then building experience, how do you get to build experience and how do you get to uh, create in you the relevant skills that are relevant to the job market? Right. So you don't need a job to build an experience, and that's a fact. You just need proof of ability. So many people think that they need a job for them to gain experience, but in actual fact, you just need proof of ability. And how do you get to build on that proof of ability? Right. So to start with, according to World Economic Forum, 92% of employers are more likely to hire a candidate with a Gen AI micro credential, 72% more likely with an industry professional certificate. Right, so I'll focus more on the last one. The first one, of course, should be, just be well versed with, current AI tools like the large language models, but I'll focus on this one. So you realize that after earning your degree or whichever qualification that you are pursuing, it could be a diploma, that is not enough. So you need to try and do some certifications to give you, because in your class, you are given the fundamentals on whatever topics that you are building, but certifications gives you the industry trends, the industry technologies that are actually currently in use. You realize that whatever that you learned at school, you most likely not use much of the tools that you're even using in class for your practicals. But once you do certifications, these are actually the tools that you will be using in the industry. So depending with what specialization that you are in or what you want to focus on, for example, if you're into infrastructure, things to do with the data centers and stuff, you realize that the NVIDIA AI infrastructure and operation certification could be your go-to certification among many others. If you are into cloud engineering, you can look at the machine learning engineer by Google Cloud. You can look at cloud practitioner or solutions architect by AWS. I'm not saying go and do these certifications. All I'm trying to say is based on the skills that you want to try to build and the area of specialization that you want to focus on. Identify the certifications that are relevant, that will give you those skills within that area, then pursue those skills. And trust me, these days, you don't necessarily have to pay for certifications in most of the cases. You just have to stay on the lookout and be connected. You realize that, these organizations usually have, some programs that runs that can give vouchers to their certifications free of charge. For example, I recently ended the NVIDIA AI infrastructure operations certification on a 50% discount. So which is something that they posted last year in December. I made use of that. I paid the other 50%. I've done many other certifications, some of them are free of charge. So in as much as sometimes you might have to pay a small fee, maybe because you desperately need that certification as soon as possible, maybe it's needed for a role that you want to get on. Most of the times you realize that you don't need to pay for certifications. Just be on the lookout. Always check on LinkedIn. There are people who always post, useful resources. I also do that. Write on those. Do your certifications. So after doing your certifications, you need also to build a portfolio. It's actually not an after something that you need to do necessarily do after. You can actually do this in parallel, side by side. While at least you're doing your certifications, you also need to be building a portfolio. How do you build your portfolio? You do this by solving real-world problems. You can do this through, just doing some bit of projects, look for a data set, identify a problem that can be solved using that data set, then solve the solution, right? Solve that problem, create the solution. After creating the solution, try to deploy the solution on free resources such as Render, FSL, so that it's accessible through a link. If someone asks you, can I see your portfolio? You just put those links, you send them, they access the projects that you've done, which is a proof of ability that we mentioned earlier. So if you don't want that hassle of saying you are looking for the data set somewhere, you are trying to, explore the data set and see what it has and try to define a problem that you can solve, which is a very, very good skill. To start with, if that can feel overwhelming, go on platforms like Zindi, where the data set is already provided, the problem statement is already defined, and the expectation is already set for you. All you need to do is study the hackathon, start hacking, researching, solving the problem. Whilst once you have, a few relevant skills that, around around um, around how to build, let's say, machine learning models or something like that, you can now then take a step back and say, okay, now I don't want a problem that is already defined. I need to define the problem myself, right? I need to define the problem myself. So you just look for a data set. Now, after the data set, you define the problem. You see, I mean, you do everything step by step and, end to end. So that's one thing that you can take. Then, coming back to the issue that I said, compete and contribute. This gives you confidence as to the skills that you have. If you compete, this time around, you find yourself number 20 on the leaderboard. You've learned something. Next time you compete, you find yourself number 15. Next time you're now number 5. It increases your confidence on the skills that you're building, right? And that means you can, I mean, it also gives you the drive to keep on trying, and, growing your skills, right? So this is what you need to do in terms of your skill. This is just more like a cheat sheet. Try to identify certifications that you
Yeah.
can do free of
How
charge.
big it are the
Uh,
internet?
Guys, may you please mute yourselves? I can't mute some
Ukarangeni
of you.
uhlanyela le fencing khashana.
Thank you. So this is more like a cheat sheet. This is what you just need to do. Identify certifications that you need to do the certifications. So the certifications gives you the fundamentals, the skills. You put those skills into practice by building a portfolio. After building a portfolio, that will act as your CVs, because in tech, nobody cares about the CV that you write in your PowerPoint or what. People cares about the proven skills through the portfolio that you've built. Then build your confidence through computing and contributing to open source projects, right? So after that, you realize that having technical skills is not enough. People think that if I know Python end to end, all the different libraries and different libraries and frameworks that Python has, I'm good and I'm ready for the job market. But this is just for a start, but it's not enough, because you won't work alone in the job environment. You work with others, and working with others means you have to have soft skills that will allow you to work with others. One, two, it's not like you're just gonna get your laptop, the problem defined and your data set, then you apply your Python. You also need to have many other different skills that complement each other for you to be able to do the job. So one of them is problem solving. This simply means breaking complex issues into clear, actionable steps. So, for example, you're told, we have this problem in this organization. Then you study the problem, you break it down, the complex, things that are within it, break it down in an easy to understand way, that if someone who is could be the managing director, it could be the executive director, who do not have technical experience that you might have, they're still able to understand what you are explaining or what you have broken down into small bits and pieces. And these are things that you are not taught in class. Well, that they're just skills that you develop based on things that you do, your interactions with others, programs that you find yourself into, right? And one of the ways to develop these kind of skills that I always encourage people is taking part in clubs. So if you're still a student, you see that there are on campus tech clubs that does many different things. Some of them just tune into what do you call them? Hackathons as teams. Some does, many different things. So these are opportunities that are presented to you to help you develop your soft skills that are not developed in your class. Analytical skills, how to interrogate data, derive meaningful insights. These come as a result of like, you know, just being involved in things, work with others, to take part in a hackathon, leadership skills. This comes like, for example, I mentioned the clubs. So you realize that you're part of a club. At some point, you might be elected as a leader, as a president. You develop your leadership skills, people management, right? When you're working on a project, you are not working alone. You have stakeholders to that project, right? Who may be the funders of the project or the users of the tool that you're creating and many different things, right? So you need to be able to have stakeholder management skills for you to be able to work effectively and to manage those stakeholders, right? So these are relevant skills that you need. Collaboration skills, you want to work alone as a silo. You work with others, so you need to be able to collaborate with others, adapt your communication based on who you're talking to. If you don't talk to your teammate the very same way you talk to an executive director, these people need different things from you. So you're supposed to be able to, to tailor your communication to them. Humble confidence, don't be, someone who is not approachable. Be someone who has, who is humble, who is approachable. You might know a lot of things, but know that you don't know everything. Stay open to being corrected by others. Know that there's someone who knows something better than you, right? Have your unwavering professionalism, right? Always, like always show up early enough. Uh, I've emphasized on this. As Africans, we have this tendency of not being good at time. You agree with someone, let's meet at 8 a.m. You show up 2 hours later. It's not good. It doesn't reflect well on you. So always be professional and punctual. Show up in time, show up well presentable or well prepared. It's an important skill. Self-management, don't be someone who's like your manager is always on your neck. Have you done this? Have you done that? Ensure that you do this. You're always told what to do and when to do it and how to do it. Be someone who is able to self-manage, right? Do things without being told to do things. Be able to manage yourself without being managed. Know that, okay, I have tasks A, B, C, D. I have 2 days to complete this. How best can I manage my work in a way that I'm able to complete all these tasks in a timely manner, right? Don't focus. You have 4 projects that are equally important. You have 2 days to complete them. You focus 1.5 day working on one project and make it unnecessarily perfect. And the other three projects are just a mess. So you realize that mostly it's more important to deliver on all the 4, even if the outcome is not that perfect, than over, you know, over killing one and the other 3 are a total mess. So know how to strike that balance and manage your time. Right. And I'm speaking these things from experience. I've been in the industry since 2020. This is my 6th year in the industry. Right. So these are things that you learn on the go that, okay, I thought coming up with a perfect, for example, it's a PowerPoint that you need to present. You think that the perfect PowerPoint where everything is well punctuated, everything is just on point. That when everyone sees it, they'll be like, wow. That is not, in as much as it's important, delivery is more important. So you can't say you have delivered if you have only managed to deliver that one perfect PowerPoint, but the other 3 tasks are crying, right? So I have also intellectual curiosity. Know that what you know is not enough on the job market. always be hungry for knowledge, learn more things as much as you can every day. If any of you has is connected with me on LinkedIn or has followed the links that I've sent in the um, in the chat, you realize that I'm intellectually curious. Uh, I don't feel like I've achieved in life. I keep on learning, you know, learning new skills, adding new skills to my, to my portfolio. This is what you need to do. Don't stay just saying whatever that I have is enough. You need more. It's not enough because people are learning out there. The job market is very competitive. There's something that has to make you different from others, stand out, right? You should be able to work with others and work independently. Both are important. You should be someone who is easy with technology, someone who can flexibly change from this to that. Okay, so at some point you will become a leader. In case you don't realize or you think you are not gonna get to 50 and retire while it's still developing these models, you realize that you'll probably be coding for maybe just 5 years. The rest of the time, there's now less of coding, you are becoming a leader and stuff. So it starts now. If you get to a leadership position without being prepared, it means you're gonna be a mess. So you need to start building those skills now. How and how can you do it? So these are some of the skills that are relevant to a leader. You're supposed to be able to manage the expectations of different stakeholders. So you realize that as a manager, you'll be the face of the project. Everyone comes to you, how far with that project that you're working on, right? You're supposed to be able to manage them. That could be someone funding the project, right? Your immediate boss, whom you report to, is coming to you asking how far with that project. You're supposed to be able to manage their expectations. Your subordinates and your team of developers are also have expectations. You need to be able to balance all these different expectations, communicate with them in a timely manner, tailor your language to suit whoever you're talking to, right? You're supposed to be able to lead with empathy. Don't be someone who is just all over harassing people, and if people are not delivering as you expect, don't go around harassing people. Just learn to be empathetic. Listen actively to understand why have they failed to deliver in the expected time frame, what problems or challenges they might be having, and how best you can assist them to overcome them, right? These are the things that you need to do, and it comes with, active listening, right? Um, you need to also be able to upload and appreciate your teammates, right? If someone have done something great, applaud them, appreciate them. Don't be mean to people. Appreciate them. You lose nothing but just say well done. That motivates them to do better, even better next time when they are appreciated. Nurture those around you. It doesn't make sense to have a vast number of skills and this big portfolio where you know a lot of things, but you are not empowering people around you. So you realize that as a leader, you can't do everything on your own. At some point, you're supposed to be able to delegate, entrusting your subordinates with the skills that they have, that they can get the job done. So if you don't empower them, you are not able to delegate because you don't have confidence with them that they'll be able to deliver. So you are supposed to empower those around you to be able to also be leaders, to be able to deliver, to be able to get the job done, right? It's good for the team, so you can't always do everything on your own. It's not good, use of time, and it's not good leadership, right? Also, you need to ensure that you are present on the digital platforms. It doesn't make sense to build these skills, build um, these solutions that will be sitting inside your PC or running on your local host. It doesn't make sense. So you need to put yourself out there because out there, that's where the hiring managers are. If you go on LinkedIn, you see this person is hiring for this job, this person is hiring for this job. So if you waste your time on Instagram, watching reels, scrolling, and all that, instead of putting yourself out there, on LinkedIn where you can see job posts. You're shooting yourself on the foot because there's nobody who is gonna see you on your Instagram unless you are doing things that require Instagram, where maybe content creation and stuff. Otherwise, as long as it's something to do with your developer roles, your developer, so you realize that you need to expose yourself on the right platform. You'd rather be on GitHub and LinkedIn and do not have Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok and all those, because they're not helpful to you. I'm not saying you don't have them, but I'm saying you would rather have these ones. If you can't have everything, you'd rather have this one than having those. People cry for, I can't find a job, jobs are difficult to find. Yes, guys, I do understand jobs are difficult to find, but what are you doing on your part? The very same person who says jobs are difficult to find, you try to look them on LinkedIn, you can't find them. You find them on LinkedIn, there's only their name and maybe the degree that they did. There's nothing else, anything else, no certification and no project done, nothing. So how do you expect to find jobs when it's like that? Build your portfolio, build your online presence as early as you can. So be active. If it's a GitHub, there should be activity there. Show that every week there's something, every week you committed something, you pushed something to your GitHub. Right? On your LinkedIn, post here and there. If you've achieved something, if you learned something, post. Engage thoughtfully with others that post their content. If I post something about something, it resonates with you, comment. The next time I know that there's Samira who does this, she always engages with my content. So she's probably working on ABCD. I happen to come across a role, I'll have her in mind that, okay, she's working on ABCD. But if you just hide yourself in a cave, trust me, you're shooting yourself on the foot. So how do you navigate now the job market? This is just something that we've already mentioned as well. Like your academics give you a foundation. This is most likely where most of you are, because this session is targeted for those who are in school and recent graduates. I understand you might have experienced people, but I mean, based on that, so I would anticipate most of you are still building their academic foundations here. At some point, you apply for internships, or you might be freelancing. That would be also another opportunity to learn as much as you can. Don't say that I'm doing a data science undergraduate. So if I get something to do with, configuring printers or administrating systems, I'm not going to take it. Trust me, no experience is less important. It's equally important, because even your data science that you do is going to be running on certain systems. You are going to get a role where you're the only one who is supposed to manage the system. Excuse me, you're also the person who is supposed to build the machine learning model. What are you gonna do? So learn as much as you can. At some point, also, you're gonna probably wanna start something on the side, your side hustle. So if you know how printers are configured, you're gonna find someone who say, I need someone who can configure a printer for me. You're gonna do that. You're gonna get that extra $5, $10, something like that. So learn as much as you can. When you get to internship, I literally just say internship is a place to learn everything that you can learn. Then after internship, that's when you can then specialize on whatever that you want to specialize in. But during internship, any experience is important. So after that, you realize that you get to an entry-level job. Then after an entry-level job, where you probably now have a specialist job, where it's saying you are a cloud engineer, but it's still entry-level. Now you're still finding your foot within that. Then you get to a point where you can then specialize. All right. So there's no point in specializing while you're still in school. Yes, just know what you want to do. I want to be an AI engineer, but still be open to learning anything that you can learn. But 2 years into a career, you should now know what you want to do and specialize in that. There's no need to be a jack of all trades and master of none. You should master something, because some people who have the same level of experience with you will be masters of their trades. So if you have not mastered any, you'll find it difficult to survive the job market, right? So first, like I mentioned, this is still internship, or you are still doing your undergrad. Just cast your net widely, right? that is just apply to anything that you can get, you know, if you get rejected, well, you pick up the pieces, you move on. Target startups also, startups give you a very good opportunity to learn. Right? You see that someone who is at Google, right? They can spend like 20 years being a software engineer, and that's it. But if you're working with a startup, maybe you're the only tech person there. You're doing almost everything that has to be done. That's where you are more like a full stack developer, right? So you get an opportunity to learn as much as possible because you're doing a lot of things, right? Also, don't just send out your applications, just one blanket CV that you send to everyone. Research about the organization that you're applying to, tailor your CV to suit what they are looking for, right? At this point, you are looking for internships. Also, don't focus much on money. Focus, I would say, for your internship, you'd rather be at somewhere where you are not paid at all, but you are learning something, than being somewhere where you are being paid a lot, but you're earning nothing. At the end, you're gonna grow in your career. So you need to learn skills. Once you learn skills, the money will come later. If you get money early, you don't learn anything, the end result will be terrible because after that, nobody will want to employ you because you don't have any employable skills. But if you learn employable skills, and even if you're not getting money, the future is bright because everyone would want to hire you. You will choose the job that you want to take. You will put a very good price on yourself because you have the relevant skills to get the job done. So know your trade-offs, right? While these big tech companies, as I mentioned earlier, can offer training and brand and structure, startups offer breadth, right? Speed and ownership. So with startups, you learn how to be a problem solver, how to be agile, how to deliver with lightning speed and all that. While these big tech companies, decisions can take years to be done, and you can even get your organization, they're discussing about implementing something, you get to even quit the job 2 years later without that being implemented. So as you start, working with startups, you can gain a lot of relevant skills. All right. So it takes a lot to build your skills that are relevant to get you a job. It takes a lot to actually prepare for an interview that will get you to prepare a CV that will get you to the interview table. All these things that we were discussing, the ultimate goal is for you to be able to get a satisfying job, right? So all this will get you to the interview table. But without the relevant skills, that interview will fly through the window. So you need to be prepared for that day when it comes. Because imagine you apply to 20 roles, you get rejected for 20 of them. 25 roles, you get rejected to 20 of them. You uh, probably get invited to 5 of them. 5 of them, two, 3 of them, they will realize you are not a good fit. Only 2 of them realize, okay, you're probably a good fit, but you still need to prove yourself. There are 20 other guys who have been shortlisted, and they also want that job. So what do you do? Be well prepared for the job, right? Be well prepared for the interview. So the moment one thing that I also tell you, you guys, the moment you receive a call and you're told I'm Robert, I'm calling you from Google for an interview that you applied. The moment you hear that, quickly go to your phone, start recording the call, right? Because I can tell you from experience, I've had experiences where I'm told I'm called for an interview. As soon as I get excited to the extent that as soon as the call drops, I've forgotten what was the location of the interview. What time did they say? Did they say, 10 o'clock, or they say some other time? Now you try to call them back to ask clarifying questions. You can't reach them. You are reaching their switchboard. Now they tell you, we don't know who called you. Who called you? We can't reach them. So always make sure that you get as much details as you can when they call you for an interview. When you receive that phone call, let your heart relax yourself. Take your time. They're not gonna drop the call. Just start recording. Take your time. Okay. Ask, okay, if there's something that you didn't understand, ask for clarification. You said on which day, by the way, which month? For example, if that was not clear, they can just tell you the date, but they didn't tell you the month. Just ask clarifying question. Who will be the correct person when I arrive? Who will I see? I will say I want to see who. Uh, so be prepared so that you know the time, you know the location, you know the contact person when you arrive. You know everything surrounding that invitation. Right. From there, you start researching the common. Research as much as you can. Research the person that called you, right? Research who is likely to be on your panel. So you know that you are being interviewed for an AI engineer role. Go on LinkedIn, start searching who are the people who are like within that department that you are being interviewed for. Search their profile. You know that if you have found some like head of AI and you're being interviewed for an AI engineering role, that person is most likely to be on your panel. So research the person, what are their likes? See what they post, what do they love the most. So in your interview, try to find ways that you resonate with that person. If you realize that they like community work within the AI, within the tech space, focus more on AI, community related things so that you have a kind of common ground with them. It makes it natural for them to just like you, like, oh, this person is more like me. Our interests align. There's already bias when you do that, and when they realize that, okay, there are similarities between me and this person. So do that. Then, as you prepare for your interview, prepare using what is called the STAR methodology in concerning answering your question, right? So I'm not gonna focus much on the STAR methodology, but this I already have something that I posted on my YouTube on how to answer using the STAR methodology. So if you check my YouTube, I've posted a link in the channel. If check my YouTube channel, please do subscribe as well, because I'll be posting a lot of other, helpful content there. You'll see a video there on preparing for interviews. So that's where the STAR methodology was covered. Right. So bring a portfolio project to the interview, right? If someone asks you, can you show us a project that you have done before? Always have something close by, be it a link to one project that you are ready to showcase, where you can just quickly send it through their email. They can possibly give you a laptop, then you can open and demonstrate. Always go with your laptop as well, in case you might just need to quickly demonstrate something. A good build moves around prepared with their tools. You don't wait to ask for tools to start building, right? So move around with your tools. And during the interview, or rather after the interview, when they give you the opportunity to ask questions, ask thoughtful questions. Show you have done your homework, right? Don't just ask stupid questions for the sake of asking. Show that you actually know. For example, if they have posted maybe on their social that they're working on a project A, B, C, D, show that you know that they're working on project A, B, C. Ask for progress. What are you currently working on? What's the progress now on project A, B, C? I understand you're working on this project, and how best can I contribute to that project when I join the company? So you're showing that you are already curious and eager to join the company to actually contribute to that project that they're doing, that you know that they're doing, right? And be honest about gaps, right? Don't lie. If you're told, do you know A, B, C, D? You say, yes, I know it. Then you're asked to explain or demonstrate. Now you stammer, right? That doesn't reflect well on you. Be honest when you don't know something. Just tell them, I have limited knowledge on that, but I'm very much willing to learn. Show as much as you can your willingness to learn. That's what to get you the job. It's not having perfect skills. It's about the willingness to learn. The learning attitude matters more than knowing things actually. So because if you know things but you're not willing to learn, it means you're not going to be flexible. You come around arguing to people that things are done this way. You are not willing to learn what others are suggesting, right? And after that, after the interview, make sure that you send a thank you note just to thank them for the time they took, meeting with you. It always makes you rememberable. We would rather do it actually within soon after. Send them a thank you message, tell them you're looking forward to the job. It makes you, you know, it makes you rememberable. Things to avoid: never, 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 ever memorize answers. For example, you already know that they're gonna ask you, tell us about yourself. Don't go there well prepared to answer like a robot with a script that someone can clearly see that okay, this is a uh, well rehearsed and crammed and memorized response. Be flexible. Just know the points that you want to talk about. I'll talk about the project that I've done. I'll talk about the companies that I've worked with. I'll talk about the number of experience that I have and the tools that I've used. Just know those points, right? So as you are talking, you just have the mind, okay, first I need to talk about the companies that I've worked with. Hey, I'm Robert. I've worked with company A, B, C, D. Don't sound rehearsed. You look like a robot. Nobody wants to talk to a robot. It's a in an interview, it's a conversation. We are exchanging conversation. So let it be a conversation, not me listening to a robot speaking to me, right? Don't pretend that you know things, right? It shows that you're pretending because remember that the person who is interviewing you is actually probably your manager and all that with so much experience. So if you try to pretend that you know things but you don't know things, they will see that this person doesn't know anything, and they are not a good fit. So don't pretend. Just be yourself. Um, don't speak negatively about your past. They might ask you, why did you leave your previous job? Don't speak negatively about your previous job. Just say something like, okay, I had learned as much as I could from that organization, and I was now seeking growth, something new to learn, so I decided to look for a new opportunity. Don't say the money was very low, the manager was mean. Don't speak negatively about your past, your past employers or educators and the stuff. Also focus on what you want, not what you contribute, right? Um, be clear about what you want. Know that you want A, B, C, D, and such. So focus on that. Of course, you can focus also on what you can contribute, but mostly on what you want. Uh, you know, um, don't ever treat soft skills questions as less important than technical ones, because like I said, your Python knowledge and skills are not enough. You still need to have soft skills to get the job done. So also make sure that you do as much as you can in making sure that the soft skills questions you answer them impressively and yeah. So like I said, also you are also supposed to ask them thoughtful questions. Prepare your questions in advance. Don't just ask useless questions like, okay, you said what's your name again? That's a stupid question. Ask thoughtful questions, right? So you need also to be able to network, right? As you prepare and navigate your career, you need to be able to network effectively, right? Networking is not like asking for a job, reaching out to people, I'm looking for a job. I see that a lot. Somebody recently reached out on me on LinkedIn. The message itself was a mass message that was saying, hi guys. It's not even addressed to me like, hi Robert. It's not even tailored to me. So I know that this person drafted a message. They're sending this to 20 people. That's not networking, and that's I simply ignored that message. Not that because I'm mean, but there's no intentionality in what the person was doing. Right. So networking is simply building relationships before you need them. Right. If I tell you that right now, the job that I have, I got it through the networks that I created like 5 years, 6 years ago. You'll be like, what? So for 6 years? And now that's when it's paying off. Yes, 6 years later, that's when it's paying off. You create the networks before you need them, right? If we connect today, It's not about you just sending me a LinkedIn invitation. Send me a LinkedIn invitation. Come to my inbox. Tell me, Robert, the session that we had today helped me in A, B, C, D. I learned A, B, C, D. Okay, I know that. Okay, you learned A, B, C. That's interesting. So by you see now we have we are like you have like 20, 25 participants to this call. I may not remember all of you. By the time we end this call, I'll forget that there was this person. But it's always easy to remember the person who follow up saying, oh, okay, thank you for this session, or engaging further, right? That makes it easy to remember you. That's how you start, where you start from, creating networks. Now, the next time we meet at an event, hi, Robert. We met, you conducted this particular session and I was part of it. It's nice to finally meet you in person. Now we talk, okay. So from the skills that you learned from that time, how have they helped you? Have you applied them anyway? Did you finally get a new job? We start a conversation. So what are you currently working on? That's when, by the way, my team is actually hiring for that same role that you are looking for. This is the application link. You can get to apply. So that's effective networking, not just connect with the people. You don't do anything. You don't interact with them. There's literally nothing that can make them remember you. So you need to network effectively. So what does that entail? That means you give before you take. Networking doesn't mean you take. You have to give first. Give a lot, as much as you can before you can get. So one way of giving is just being involved in community work. You're giving to the community. You will get from that same community, right? Target your outreach, for example. Don't broadcast. This is what I was mentioning about. Identify 5 people doing what you aspire to and reach out to them with a specific, genuine message that is tailored for them. Don't draft one message, send it to all the 5. Tailor the message to each of them because they're doing different things. We always see that this is a tailored message. This is a broadcasted message, and nobody wants to waste time reading a broadcasted message that is also generated by ChatGPT. We don't have the time to do that. So I'm speaking from a point where there are people who have reached out to me, and how it feels having to read 2 pages ChatGPT generated that has nothing to do with me. It's not tailored to me. So be intentional in your networking. Show up and participate. So I mentioned, community work. Look for conferences happening around you. Show up to them, and participate into those conferences. Follow up always. I mentioned this. The value is in the follow up, not necessarily you participating. You participating in this session is very important, but the greatest value is following up, right? Following up on this interaction. Okay, you mentioned A, B, C, D in our session, but I didn't quite get A, B, C, D. Oh, okay. If you happen to know any certifications out there, you mentioned about certifications, but I've been searching. I don't know any certifications out there. I can't happen to see any. Do you know any that I can look into? All those kind of follow-ups. That's where the real value of networking and interactions is. Right. Common traps to avoid. Don't just endlessly watch tutorials and courses without building anything. You learn by doing. The moment you do something, you're actually learning better skills, right? Trap 2, CV first thinking. You think that optimizing your CV and all that is better, but it's actually the skills that matters, right? Waiting for ready, that is believing that you must know everything before applying. No. Whichever stage you are in your career, just apply. There's always something that you're good at. There's always something that you are a fit for. After all, there's never a perfect credential for a job. Nobody gets a job that they're perfect for. You always have a shortfall of some skill or something. You learn on the job, right? Networking neglect. If you think that technical skills alone will open doors for you, you actually realize that people who have less technical skills than you but are good at networking will actually get a job before you do. The comparison trap, that is measuring your progress with peers or with the pressure of LinkedIn and stuff. Don't do that. You're your own competition. You're not competing with anyone. You're your own self. So focus on yourself. Who you were yesterday and who you are today and who you will become tomorrow is your benchmark. Don't benchmark yourself with someone else. We have different career trajectories, different opportunities. Just trust the process. Follow your own destined, I mean, it's just follow your path. Don't try to follow the path that somebody else followed. It's different, right? Chasing every trend. Many people have fallen to this, right? Today, people are making noise about web development. You see that person is doing web development. A week later, people are making noise about agentic AI. Someone is now busy with agentic AI. The following week, people are making noise about data science. You see them in data science. At the end, you are a jack of all trades, but a master of none. The world is not looking for jacks of all trades. It's looking for masters of trades who gets the job done. So you do that during your internship where you can just learn anything there where you are interning and stuff. After that, now know what you want to do and focus and specialize on that. So imagine you spend 4 years of your career building web development skills, cybersecurity skills, data science skills, networking skills with someone who spent 4 years just mastering AI skills. Who will get the AI job done better? The person who mastered that skill, not the person who is a jack of all trades, right? So, let's start from here now. This is an action plan that you can possibly follow if you have not started building your skills, right? So clarify and build within the first 30 days. This is what you can do. You can define your target role. Do you want to be a data scientist? Okay. Do you want to be a data scientist in healthcare? Do you want to be a data scientist in Zimbabwe? So that's your sector, your role. But you realize that with some of these, you might not need to specify the sector or the geography, but know that you want to be a data scientist, right? Okay, where are you with the skills of becoming a data scientist, right? Do you have, what it takes to prepare data? Do you have what it takes to do exploratory data analysis? Do you have what it takes to build a machine learning model? Right? Know the gaps. Okay, I have a gap in building or in doing ETL. I have a gap in doing this, right? Now that you know that, launch one portfolio project from scratch. Okay, now I need to be able to build an end-to-end project. So be able to start from scratch, sourcing the data set, cleaning the data set, doing an EDA, everything all the way to the end, up to deployment, right? So it means you are able to deliver a project end to end, right? Polish your LinkedIn and GitHub. Go to your LinkedIn. You guys, like I said, you can basically even use my own LinkedIn profile. I will post the links again in the chat. If you click on my LinkedIn profile, you see how well curated my LinkedIn is and all that. Do the same. Do that for your LinkedIn profile and your YouTube, right? And then identify 10 target organizations to monitor. Always know that, okay, I'm looking for a job at a company like Cassava, right? So always monitor what Cassava is doing, what do they post, job posts. Make sure that your alerts are on for the people that work at Cassava or for Cassava page itself, such that if they post something, you are the first to see it. You apply as early as you can, right? So these are the things that you can do within the first 30 days. From 31st day to the 60th day, now you're growing and connect. You're publishing your project with the clear documentation. So the project that you have done within the first 30 days, you are now publishing it, putting it out there, put it on accessible links, post about it and your learnings and your outcome on your LinkedIn, write blog posts about it, reach out to people that you think might be interested in some of on that such a project, or that they're working on similar projects, right? Start applying for internships and jobs because already you have something to show. Right. Join communities such as AI clubs, meetups, events that are happening around. Right. And from the 61st day to the 9th day, now you're now iterate your project based on real feedback. People give you feedback. This doesn't look real. The coloring of your Power BI dashboards is bad. They'll give you feedback. Use that to refine your project. Complete, there are always mock interviews out there as well. Attempted that. Attend industry events, attend webinars, be connecting. You're building on your network. Your network at the end is your net worth, right? So this is basically it. And as we come to an end of our presentation, these are the takeaways from this event, right? We looked into the World Economic Forum, the steps that it shows us, and why it's important, to build the relevant skills, knowing that this is what's growing. There's no point in building skills that are not gonna lend you a job. So you focus on this, right? Technical skills will get you in the room, but there's something that will keep you inside the room once you get there, which is the soft skills, right? Certifications and portfolio of real projects are your strongest proof of ability, right? You can do that. That will help you secure your first job without any experience. All employers are looking for proof of ability, right? You need to lead with empathy, manage expectations, celebrate your team, and invest in their growth. That is how reputations are built, right? Act before you feel ready, right? Don't wait for perfection. Do now, perfect later, right? With that, I thank you. So this is my portfolio. Once again, I'm Robert Selemani. I'm a cloud platforms engineer at Cassava Technologies. Under Cassava AI, I'm a co-founder at AI Eswatini. That's my LinkedIn profile. I'm Robert Selemani on LinkedIn. You can follow me on YouTube, where I'll post relevant resources, including this recording. I'll also post there in case later on you want to get to it and just refer to it. So for example, talking about building portfolios, this is my LinkedIn, my Zindi portfolio, where you see I joined Zindi 6 years ago. I've these days I've tuned into the 52 challenges, made 10 submissions, started 36 charts. My best rank was 86 in my current rank because I'm no longer that active. These are important things that you need. This is my LinkedIn, where you can see everything's well documented, the way I'm working, where I started, what I do, uh, the experience that I have in terms of the roles that I've taken, my education, the certifications that I've done, 19 of them. This is not all of them. Some of them I do not even post about them because I feel like now they're too insignificant based on where I am. The projects that I've done, you can also go there, look into these projects and just get inspiration out of these. My volunteer experience, you see 14 volunteer experience. This is investing into networking and, giving to the community from which you get back from. These are some of the, recommendations that I've received from the people that I've worked with, you know, right? You need to be people, to be able to have people who can speak to your work and your work ethic, what you can do and stuff, right? My publications, I don't have much now, just a few things, blogs, honors that I've received, 14 languages that I speak, organized. So basically, this is it. Have a track record, build something. So this is it, guys, and I hope you guys have learned something out of this session, and I'll give back this the mic to you all so that if you have questions, you can get to ask the questions that you might have. Otherwise, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. I hope this was helpful. Thank you. So if you want to ask a question, I'm not gonna let you guys raise your hands because we are quite few. You can just, unmute yourself, ask your question, then I'll answer. So I'll give it for the next 9 minutes. You have the opportunity to ask me questions, and so make sure that you have your questions ready. Be brief to allow others to also get the chance to ask their questions. Thank you and over. Thank you so much, Ndagire Mariam, for that feedback. I can see from the chat, Mariam said it was a wonderful session. Sophie said wonderful session. Nontando said amazing. I've learned a lot. Muramira Abraham said quite amazing, and a lot graphs. So yeah, thank you guys. I'm glad to hear that you found the session helpful. So we have 7 minutes to engage in question and answering.
Hi, Robert.
Hi, Samira.
Thank you so much for the insightful session. It's always nice to hear you speak. So, mine, I will speak on my own perspective. For someone who has really been trying to get into a particular field, like I'm on my path to data science, and it's really a lot because I'm transitioning from my background, not completely, but to a great extent, because my background is pharmacy. I'm still trying to be on the path of like data science for in healthcare. So I find myself, I've taken a lot of courses, do a lot of certifications. I do a lot of all of those, and I think to myself that I've gotten to a point where okay, I need to start trying for jobs. Now I'm trying to build a portfolio. Sometimes it just feels as if the opportunities are not coming. So I don't know if you have any word or two to advise if there are people like me who so that I know that I'm not going to give up. So I just need to keep pushing. But yeah, that's basically my concern. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Samira. So I'm gonna reach out to someone right now that I know was hiring for internships in healthcare. The deadline was the 14th of April, but I'm just gonna check if they have found enough. If they have, or if they haven't, I'll let you know. But besides that, all I can say for now is keep trying, never give up, always be connected. The other thing is look out for conferences that are happening around for the field. You realize that at the conferences, that's where you meet many different people working on many different things. That upon interacting with them, you realize that okay, they're actually working on ABCD, which and they are hiring, they're looking for volunteers or they're hiring for internships. You know, so put yourself out there, network as much as you can, attend events, and engage thoughtfully with people. Okay, you don't like if you don't put yourself out there, you won't get exposed to opportunities. So put yourself out there, interact with the people. They are the people that will point you to the rightful opportunities. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you so much.
Great. Any other questions, guys? And thank you so much for that question, Samira. And it's always a nice seeing you, tuning into these sessions. I remember the first session that we interacted. It was a session that you organized, and it's good to see you here. We have 6 minutes. Any other 4 minutes rather? Any other questions? So you guys it was the presentation was that good that you don't even have questions. No, guys, you should have questions. Okay, let me see in the chat. Someone says, personally, it always feels heavy for me to share on LinkedIn. Okay, I totally understand that you are not alone. Many people feels that, how difficult it is to post on LinkedIn. But I'll give you one example, guys. In 2024, I got a job that I got as a result of just posting on LinkedIn. Someone was following me on LinkedIn, has been seeing my posts for quite a long time. They reached out to me. They offered me a job without even interviewing me and stuff. Kind of, we just had a discussion and they offered me a job. And if I'm to tell you that that job was even paying more than what I currently had at the time, you'll be surprised. But it only came because I had a digital footprint that they could follow and they were seeing. So I understand that it might be heavy to share on LinkedIn, but know that by not doing so, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot because you're not putting yourself out there. So don't worry about perfection. Like I mentioned, yes, don't worry about the perfection of the content. It's not about perfection. It's just about authenticity. Be yourself. Be your true self. Be authentic. Don't worry about perfection. Thanks, Mariam, for that feedback. And somebody said, okay, I don't see any other question in the chat. I'm shifting from health to ICT, and you have showed me the path at least. Great. I'm glad that you now know what to do, where to start from. This is really good news. Yeah, so any other questions, guys? We are left with 2 minutes. Don't deprive yourself of an opportunity to get your question answered. Ask a question. And Gilbert, thank you for that compliment. I really appreciate it. And everyone else, thank you so much for your compliments. Sophie said, my biggest struggle has always been building a portfolio and putting my work out there. I'm not very confident in my skills. So I mentioned hackathons. Hackathons are a good starting point. Why? Because like I said, if you see here, right, you come on the Zindi, like for example, you're making use of Zindi, right? You go there on the leaderboard. This time around, you compete. You find yourself on number, on number 10. The next time you compete, you find yourself on number 8. The next time you compete, you find yourself number 4. So it means you're improving in your skills. You are rising up the leaderboard. It increases your confidence. But if you are just building your skills on your local machine, on the local host, trust me, you will never have confidence. So make sure that you put yourself out there. This is the advice that I can give you, Sophie. And get started now. Go to this Indie platform, start building your portfolio. So yeah, it's now past, and I've given people the opportunity to ask questions, but people are not asking. So one last chance to ask a question, guys. So somebody asked a question, which somebody said, which platform would you suggest for someone who is still figuring it out with machine learning? I think they just said machine. I suppose that mean machine learning. Grace, if you want to clarify that. But what I would say, okay, machine learning, yes. So you need to, the first thing you can just do, like you can, for example, you can try to tune into the, let's say, Microsoft Azure AI Fundamentals certification. Do that. It will expose you to the basics, or maybe you already have the basics from school, your degree or what. Now you need to put those skills into practice. You can start with the Zindi platform that I'm actually making noise with. The Zindi. There is basically I'm saying start with hackathons. Hackathons will give you a good start because one, the data set is provided. The goal and the objectives of that are clearly defined. The problem statement clearly laid out. All you need to do, download the dataset, upload into your environment, researching, improve your knowledge and skills. Right, that's the starting point. Make use of hackathons. Yes, the recording will be available. I'll upload it on my LinkedIn, on my YouTube channel. Please do follow or subscribe to that YouTube channel. I've sent the link into the chat. So for data scientists and ML, is GitHub portfolio enough, or do we still have to develop a site? To be honest with you, I think GitHub is no longer enough, because know that also not everyone is technical enough. The people who shortlist you for the job also, they're not, it's not everyone who is technical enough. So you point them to a GitHub, we just have code, they don't even understand code. So you now need to also have a site where you host your solutions that are, the solutions are supposed, the code is supposed to be on GitHub, but also host them somewhere where they can actually access and interact with the site. Go, if you check on my LinkedIn, the projects that I have listed there, you access them through a site, but the code is also available on my GitHub. All right. So there's also another question that I skipped that I'm trying to look for. A student, what are the most important practical skills I should focus on right now to be industry ready? Sakile, I'm not sure if you joined us late, but we covered this in the session. The recording will be available on YouTube. You can follow, but it basically depends with what you're focusing on. Are you into AI? Are you into web development? Are you a cybersecurity personnel? Just look for the skills that are relevant for your area of specialization. One on those skills, but the technical skills alone are not enough. You also need the soft skills that will keep you on the job. So coming back, someone says, what if people are easily lured into joining trends? How can they escape this? So I mentioned this, that know what you want to do. Don't be a jack of all trades and master of none. Know what you want to do, and knowing what you want to do, it will help you resist the temptation of just doing everything that is trending. No matter how interesting something can be, tell yourself that I have chosen to focus on this. I'm not going to be lured into something unless it's an area that is actually falling. For example, according to the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs, if it's a job that is sinking, yes, that way you can switch. But as long as it's a job that is still up there, don't need to switch. For example, for me, I always tell myself I'm into AI and cloud. So much people make noise about cybersecurity. People say they're making money with web development, but I always say no. I mean, AI and cloud personnel. I'll focus on those. I'll make money out of those. I'll grow within those. So yeah. So I think we have answered everything. I don't see any further questions, guys. And yeah, this marks the end of our session. And one last time, I've posted links to my YouTube and my LinkedIn. Let's connect, guys. And oh, somebody says which best cloud certification to do. I would say start with the AWS Cloud Practitioner Essentials one. For now, start with that, then grow from there. It will give you the necessary starting point. Thank you. So guys, yeah, stay tuned. Let's connect and share. If you didn't, guys, make sure that you can start now. You can take screenshots of this last screen that I projected if you want. You can use that to post on your LinkedIn. Tag me, tag Robert Seleman, look for me, tag me, post about your learnings. It can be even 2 lines or 3 lines. Just take that. We had a session with Robert titled, from classroom to the industry. I learned that it's important to put myself out there. I learned that it's important to build a portfolio. Yes, put that, take me, then I'll like your post, I'll comment, I'll repost, which further put yourself out there. If this one doesn't work for you, more of these these are takeaways. You can take a screenshot of this, use this to post on your LinkedIn. That's how you can put yourself out there, right? Post about this, put all this into practice. Put things into practice, and put yourself out there, expose the network with others, and tell you, basically you're telling others about the session, how it went, what you learned. And you can even I provided links to my YouTube. You can also post that, like, for those who missed the session, who would like to follow, please check out the recording on this site. You're just simply helping others. So guys, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me, and I think we can call it an evening. Thank you so much, and have a good evening. So feel free to drop. Yes, the recording will be available on my YouTube, and this is the link. Please subscribe to the YouTube, and you'll see the recording shortly once it's available. Thank you, and have a good night.